Welcome back to NBA Stories, the place where basketball stories come alive, where we break down not just stats and highlights, but the deeper pulse of the game. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating debates of the upcoming season. Can Nikola Jokić win the 2025-26 NBA Most Valuable Player Award? It's a question that feels simple on the surface, but underneath lies a web of history, narrative, fatigue, and the quiet brilliance of a player who continues to redefine what basketball can be. So grab your seat, turn up the volume, and let's break down why the Joker might be the MVP once again. Nikola Jokić doesn't fit the typical mold of an NBA superstar. He doesn't explode off the floor like Ja Morant. He doesn't dominate with brute force like Giannis. He doesn't launch logo threes like Steph Curry. What he does is something far subtler and, in a way, more beautiful. He controls the game. Every possession, every rhythm, every decision. Jokić is the kind of player who can make a pass that no one else sees coming, not because it's flashy, but because it's inevitable. He's like a grandmaster moving chess pieces on a basketball court, 3 steps ahead of everyone else. His genius is quiet, but it's constant. It's the steady hum beneath every Nuggets win. Let's start with the basics, the numbers. Over the past 2 seasons, Jokic's stat lines have bordered on the absurd. Points, rebounds, assists, efficiency, all historically elite. There's no other center in the modern era who's averaged near triple doubles with such consistency, but even those numbers don't fully capture his impact. When Jokic is on the court, Denver's offense transforms into a perfectly synchronized system. The ball moves faster, teammates cut sharper, shooters get cleaner looks. He's not just scoring or passing, he's orchestrating. He makes complex things look simple, and simple things look effortless. That's what makes him unique among MVP candidates. Some players dominate with athleticism, others with scoring. Jokic dominates with understanding. He knows where every defender will be before they move. He knows which teammate is about to get open before the play even develops. That's not luck, that's mastery. And mastery, more than anything else, is what defines Jokic's MVP case. But the MVP race is never just about talent. It's about context, about story. And Jokic's story at this point in his career is rich. He's the 2-time MVP who went on to lead the Nuggets to their first ever NBA championship. He's the soft-spoken superstar from Serbia who was once drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. He's the player who shattered every preconception about what a big man could be. Yet despite all that, he's still hungry, still humble, still focused. That hunger, the desire to keep proving himself in a league obsessed with the next new thing, could be what drives him back to MVP form in 2025-26. Let's break this down into the 3 main ingredients that every MVP run needs. Individual brilliance, team success, narrative momentum. First, individual brilliance. No one questions Jokic's talent. He's arguably the most skilled big man in basketball history, a combination of touch, timing, and IQ that feels almost mythical. He can post up, shoot the mid-range, hit threes when he wants to, rebound with control, and pass with vision that rivals Magic Johnson. He's not flashy, but his consistency is unreal. Over an 82-game season, there's no one more reliable, no one more efficient. If he keeps producing those near triple-double averages, let's say around 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists per game, while shooting close to 60% from the field, his statistical case will be undeniable. Second, team success. The Nuggets are built around him, not just as their best player, but as their system. Every action on offense begins and ends with Jokic. When he's on the floor, Denver's offense hums like a finely tuned engine. When he sits, the gears grind. That kind of dependence is rare. It's the clearest measure of value there is. And for MVP voters, it's gold. But to win, Denver will need to stay near the top of the Western Conference. If the Nuggets finish with a top 3 record, it strengthens Jokic's case enormously. If they drop to 5th or 6th, voters might look elsewhere, because history shows that MVPs almost always come from winning teams. So team success isn't just helpful, it's necessary. Third, the narrative. And here's where it gets tricky. MVP races are as much about storytelling as they are about performance. Voters like novelty. They like drama. They like redemption arcs and surprise heroes. Jokic, by now, is familiar, proven, maybe too consistent, and that's the danger. Voters might take him for granted. But what if the story shifts? What if the narrative becomes about longevity, about sustaining greatness in an era of chaos, about a player who, even after years of dominance, continues to redefine what valuable means? That's a powerful story, and it's one that could bring voters back to his side. Let's not forget the psychological side of all this. The MVP race is emotional. It's shaped by how a player makes fans feel. When Jokic plays, there's a strange calm that settles over the court. He doesn't scream. He doesn't pound his chest. He doesn't need to. His control is quiet, but total. And that quiet confidence creates a different kind of awe. He's not trying to convince you he's the best. He simply shows you one play at a time. And maybe that's why Jokic has become such a compelling figure in the modern NBA. He's the anti-celebrity superstar. No drama, no attention seeking, just basketball. He's proof that you can dominate the league without playing the media game. You can lead without shouting. You can be a global superstar without caring about fame. In a world full of noise, Jokic is silence, and that silence is deafening. Of course, there are obstacles. The NBA is loaded with talent right now. Luka Doncic could average 35 and 10. Shy Gilgeous-Alexander could take another leap. Giannis could bulldoze his way to another monster season. Jason Tatum could finally lead Boston to the best record in the league. There's always competition. There's always someone new. That's what makes the MVP race unpredictable. But Jokic's advantage is that he doesn't need to be spectacular every night to be elite. His baseline is greatness. Even his off nights, 22 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, would be career highs for most players. That consistency is his greatest weapon. There's another element that can't be ignored: availability. To win MVP, you have to play enough games. That's become a bigger factor than ever. Jokic has been remarkably durable, and if he stays healthy, playing 70 or more games, his candidacy strengthens dramatically. Durability plus dominance equals MVP potential. Let's talk about defense for a moment, often a point of criticism for offensive superstars. While Jokic will never be a rim protector in the traditional sense, his defensive intelligence has improved every year. He positions himself well, reads plays early, and uses his hands better than most big men. He's not going to lead the league in blocks, but he's not the defensive liability some think he is either. And because his offense creates such a huge positive margin, his overall impact remains elite. Now imagine the scenario. It's April 2026. The regular season is wrapping up. Denver sits atop the Western Conference. Jokic is averaging 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists with effortless efficiency. The highlight reels are filled with his no-look passes and touch shots. The advanced metrics, player impact, win shares, box plus, minus, all say the same thing: he's the best player in the world. At that point, the MVP isn't even a debate. It's destiny. But beyond numbers, beyond trophies, there's something deeper about Nikola Jokic. He represents a different kind of greatness, one rooted in simplicity and joy. He doesn't play the game to chase validation. He plays it because he understands it, maybe better than anyone else. Watch him smile after a perfect pass. Watch him pat a teammate on the back after a missed shot. Watch how he walks off the court, unfazed by hype. That's not indifference, that's perspective. And that's part of what makes him so magnetic. If he wins MVP again, it won't just be another line on his resume. It will be confirmation that greatness doesn't always need noise to be noticed. That you can dominate a league built on athleticism with intelligence, creativity, and calm. That humility and brilliance can coexist and even thrive in modern basketball. But whether he wins or not, one thing is certain: Nikola Jokic will remain the heartbeat of Denver, the mind behind the motion, and the quiet force redefining what it means to be valuable. Because when the game slows down, when the lights fade, when it's just 5 players on a ball, the one who understands it best wins. And right now, Nobody understands it better than Nikola Jokic. So yes, Nikola Jokic could absolutely win the 2025-26 MVP if he stays healthy, keeps his team near the top, and continues playing his unselfish, all-encompassing brand of basketball. He'll be right there again, standing among the greats. Because what we're witnessing isn't just a great player, it's the evolution of the sport itself. Thank you for watching NBA Stories. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Jokic will win another MVP? Or will this season crown a new king? We'll be back soon with more stories, more analysis, and more love for the game. Until next time, keep watching, keep hooping, and remember, greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just smiles and passes the ball perfectly. Thanks.